Hello everyone, welcome back, and today I will be showing you how I make these adorable little warrior cats. These are not meant to be warrior cats, or they don't have to be if you don't want them to. They can just be regular cats, but the way I make them, they are meant to be in my clan that I made up called Earth Clan. I don't actually have a set pattern for them. They are just, because some of them are babies, some of them vary in sizes from being smaller built and others more muscular. Right now I'm making a video. I have a voiceover, but the music's way too loud in the background. Something went wrong with my editing. I accidentally deleted it, and so yeah. So today we'll be making Little Cloud, which, if you don't know who he is he's a medicine cat for Shadow Clan. I will also be stuffing the paws. I don't normally, as I'm showing right now, I don't normally stuff the paws for Shadow Clan, I keep saying that, for medicine cats or elders or kits. I don't normally stuff the paws for them because they're slightly less active cats. I said that in finger quotes, like you could see me. But anyways, right now I'm just showing the types of fur that I use. I use fake fur, and I use, can't remember what it's called, fleece. I use fleece and felt, and fake fur. Fake fur is really nice for, making, like, chest fur, ears, tails. Owlflight's body is made out of fake fur, but I would not recommend it. That is a mistake that I made because it's not very flexible. So, like, she keeps getting holes in her side where I have to continue to stitch it up. Luckily, the craft store that we went, which, if you don't know, I go to Joann's for most of the fabric that we get. They just have a better selection of fabrics, and yeah, Owlflight's entire body is made out of it, which, again, don't recommend. I keep having to stitch it. Right now I'm showing off her eye color, because I didn't actually use, like, I don't have a plain pale green. I have some, like, light green floral print fabric that I just, like, found little areas where there weren't flowers and cut them out there. Luckily, the fabric, Joann's had red fur fabric, which, kind of joke, I could not find red fur fabric. For Little Cloud, I'm only going to be using the brown fleece that I got in the short fake fur. Normally, fake fur is very long, so if you need to, you can cut it down. I don't think I did that for Owlflight. And the brown fur that I'm using, I also didn't trim down because this is very short. I'm also going to be using blue for his eyes, and, like I said, stuffing the feet. So first you need to cut out your body parts. This can depend on how big you want your cat to be. If you want him to be big and bulky, I would go for a really big, not really big, but like a bigger body, because it's also going, because if you remember, it's also going to be slightly smaller when you turn it inside out, as you will end up having, it's going to end up being slightly smaller than you originally cut out, because you're going to have to turn it inside out, and you're going to have to leave a seam allowance. I cut out the tail and some chest fur. He is not described as being very fluffy. I don't know why his name is Little Cloud, because he's, like, he is known for being small, but the cloud part of his name I don't understand. If you don't know what Warriors is, it's basically a book about feral, like, cats that live in the woods. They have this really cool, like, religion and naming system and, like, a warrior code and everything. So they have this entire civilization, but it's really cool. And if you haven't read it, I would definitely recommend it. I originally thought I was going to cut out his ears out of fur fabric, but the ears were really hard to cut out. The fabric, I don't know. So I ended up having to use the fleece. I got lots of other colors, like I don't have that much fleece. I only have black and brown. But I also have, what was I gonna say? I also have some white fur fabric, red fur fabric, the brown fur fabric, and black fur fabric. So, this is in case I want to make more cats, because my clan is always expanding. One thing that I think is funny is that in the very first book of Warriors Into the Wild, Blue Star lets Rusty in because they need more warriors, when the other clans, all their warriors, you can count on one hand. The other, in Thunder Clan, I can't even list all of them. Well, I can't list all of the other clans too, but that's because they don't pay much attention. So in my story that I'm writing, Owlflight was born around the same time as Little Cloud in Shadow Clan. She has this really complicated thing where, like, they were mates before he decided to become a medicine cat, which there's no evidence that he actually had a mate before that. Only evidence that he began out as a warrior, and then a sickness came through Shadow Clan, and he went to Thunder Clan for help, and he decided that he wanted to help clans. So I made Owlflight because of a thought that what if Little Cloud had a little bit more of a story, because despite not knowing much about him, I kind of like his character. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing in this footage? I don't know. I think I had a lot of other things to talk about. So next we're gonna have to sew the head, which, yeah. You want to, okay, I cannot stress this enough. Please reinforce your knots. Please reinforce your knots and your sewing. Also, there's a reason they make multicolored thread. I just didn't want to go digging through for a brown thread, which is why I'm using white. So you can turn it inside out. I used the pink scissors there. I used the pink scissors there to, and also this clip repeated. I'm sorry, I don't know what I did. But, so you want to make sure that your knots are really, really reinforced, because you don't want your knot unslipping and then you having to fix it, the cat. So one thing that you're going to want to do is try to use a basic stitch. Don't use a ladder stitch or a blanket stitch or anything like that. Try using a basic stitch. I don't think I use a basic stitch for any of my cats. The only time I do use a ladder stitch is whenever they have like a hole and I need to fix that. Then I do. I also would not advise giving these cats to small children, because like some of them are fragile. I make sure to sew the tail, legs, head, anything that can be tugged on or will be tugged on. I make sure to sew these on really well. I reinforce the stitches, and as you can see, I stuck the scissors into the body. That's so I could get the fabric in there. Also, another thing that a ladder stitch will be good for is whenever you need to finish off the holes. Like whenever I stuffed the body and I had to go back and sew it, I used the ladder stitch for that as well. It just kind of, I don't know how to explain, but I did. So for the eyes and facial features, I know I'm not at that part yet, but oh yeah, never mind. Right now I'm face. Right. So I stuff the paws. All I really do for that is I stuff I sew little squares, and then I put stuffing in there, and then continue sewing and make sure to reinforce the stitches. I cannot stress that enough. So for the face, I just cut out a little triangle of pink fabric. I cut out two evenly sized circles of the blue fabric and a couple of small rectangles, small black rectangles to make sure that I have the pupils. I don't do this if I have a cat, like if I were to make a cat like Jay Feather, who is blind, I would not put the pupils in, but since Little Cloud is not blind, I am just like sewing his pupils. And I just make little rectangles, and I cut a little bit. I make and then I lay them across the eye. It's kind of hard to to explain. I like cut them a little bit shorter than they would be sitting on the eye, just so that the pupils don't look gigantic and you can still see the eye color. So I think I am at the part of sewing the body parts. So I have a weird tactic for sewing on the head where I just kind of set it on top and sew it on. So this is the finished product. I think they're super cute, and if you want to make them, go ahead. I'd be happy to see them, but I don't have anything like that. So bye guys, see you later.
Sorry, it's DJ.